Chandrasekhar, Chairman of Environmental Science Department, giving this opportunity to this special occasion. A very warm good afternoon and a hearty welcome to all. We are honored to have and we are extremely happy to welcome you. I request all the dignitaries to occupy the dais.
Our registrar evaluations are also to
Invocation song by Srimati Nirmala. I invite Srimati Nirmala to render the invocation.
ಕರುಣಾಕರ ಲೋಕರಕ್ಷಕಾಗಿ ವಿಘ್ನೇಶ್ವರ ಕೈ ಮುಗಿದು ಬೇಡುತ್ತಿರುವೆ ಕರುಣಾಕರ ಕೋಟಿ ಕೋಟಿ ನಮನ ನಿನಗೆ ಮಹಾಗಣಪತಿ ಮಹಾಗಣಪತಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Good afternoon to all of you. Happy National Science Day 2022. As we all know, we have gathered here to celebrate the National Science Day 2022. India observes February 28th as the National Science Day. On this day in 1928, celebrated and iconic Indian scientist Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman discovered the phenomena of scattering of photons, which was later known as the Raman effect, after his name. After 2 years in 1930, he got the Nobel Prize for the discovery, and this was the first Nobel Prize for India in the field of sciences. To mark this discovery and to show our respect to Sir C.V. Raman, National Science Day is celebrated in India on this day each year. The main objectives of the National Science Day are to spread the message about the importance of science, to display all activities and achievements in the field of science, and to discuss all the issues and important new technologies for the development of science and so on. The first National Science Day was celebrated in the year 1987. Every year, National Science Day is celebrated with a theme, and the theme for this year Science Day is Integrated Approach in Science and Technology for a Sustainable Future. To partake in this national event, the School of Sciences, Karnataka State Open University has organized this National Science Day 2022 here. Today we have amidst us an ardent orator, devoted teacher, able administrator and an eminent scientist, Dr. V. Prakash, former director of CSIR Central Food Technological Research Institute, Mysuru, who has graciously consented to be the chief guest for today's event. We welcome you, sir. And now I request our Vice Chancellor, sir, to greet Dr. Prakash with a flower bouquet. Our beloved Vice Chancellor, Professor S. Vidyashankar, is a source of inspiration and motivation for all of us. His ideas have ushered in an entirely new outlook and experience in the university activities. We are happy he is presiding this function. And I now request Dr. Chandrasekhar JS to welcome sir with a flower bouquet. Organizing such events needs the support and blessings of diverse tributaries, and the university deems it a privilege to have Professor Rajanna as its registrar, and I wish to extend a warm welcome to him in his absence. And I accord a genial welcome to our Dean Academic, Professor Ashok Kamble, who has been an important guiding force for us, and I request Dr. Syed Bakar to welcome him with a flower bouquet. I'm excited to welcome our new Registrar Evaluation, Professor K.B. Praveena, and I request Dr. Ravindra to welcome him with a flower bouquet. I especially welcome Dr. Chandrasekhar JS, Chairman and Department of Studies in Environmental Science, who has been instrumental in organizing this program and has worked hard to realize this day. And I request Dr. Meena Kumari to welcome him with a flower bouquet. It is with pleasure I welcome our Dean Study Centers, Professor Shanmukha, Finance Officer Dr. Kader Pasha, and other statutory officers of the university. Thank you all for being here. I take this privilege to welcome all the senior professors, my fellow teachers, non-teaching faculty, students, media person, and other audience. I once again welcome everyone present here. Thank you.
Extremely honored to have such a great opportunity to speak before you on this memorable day. It is indeed a great privilege to have amidst us Dr. Vishweshwaraya Prakash, currently President of International Union of Food Science and Technology and Vice President of International Union of Nutritional Sciences, Adjunct Professor of Ramaya University of Applied Sciences, Bangalore, and Adjunct Professor of Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. He was the former Director of CFTRI, Mysore for 17 years and made CFTRI known very well at rural levels and also at the global level. And he was appointed as a distinguished scientist of CSIR upon his superannuation, and he has received more than 65 national and international awards, including one of the highest civilian awards, Padma Shri, coveted Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Award for Science and Technology, Rajyotsava Award of Karnataka, and several lifetime achievement awards from various organizations like KSTA, FICCI, AIFPA, and many organizations in India and abroad. He is currently serving on the editorial board of number of food science and technology and nutritional sciences, and he is on the editorial board of number of science books worldwide. And he is a fellow of most of the academics in India and Royal Society of London. Bioceuticals and eco-friendly technologies is very vast and in-depth with the new innovations and technologies in the foreground as a science leader and a great researcher. Dr. Prakash has, as of date, 217 peer-reviewed research publications, 55 patents filed, and nearly 25 PhDs and 850 keynote, chief guest, and convocation addresses delivered in his, and is author of 15 books, and 9 more books is in the pipeline. And his keen interest in the societal endeavors of science reach out, especially through his talks in radio and TV interviews and YouTubes in Kannada and English are contemporary and very popular. And Dr. Prakash does these with a great passion for science and compassion for the needy in the society.
Science book is a wealth of knowledge, and similarly this newsletter also highlights the importance of scientific research happening across the globe. The diversity of the book can be gauged with different articles pouring from different scientific domains. The contributors of this newsletters are teachers, students, professors, and scientists. The newsletter comprises of 3 segments: popular article, abstract, and full-length based research articles. Some of the highlights of this newsletter are the importance of nano-vaccine in future generation, the importance of bio-nanomaterials in combating drug-resistant pathogens, and cultivation of mushrooms from our students of KSOU at the Department of Microbiology, and importance of microgreen as a food supplement, impact of diseases like brucellosis, Alzheimer's, biodiversity of plant species inhabiting Western Ghats of India. I would like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor S. Vidyashankarji for supporting us to launch this newsletter. I would also like to thank our Registrar Professor Rajana sir and Academic Dean for their constant support. Finally, I would like to thank the Editor-in-Chief Dr. Niranjan Raj sir for supporting us to launch the newsletter, executing our thoughts into reality. Thank you, sir.
ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಶುಭ ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಬರಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು KSOUನವರು ಈ ಒಂದು ನಂಗೆ ಹಳೆಯ ಒಂದು ವಾತ್ಸಲ್ಯ ಈ ಹಾಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಸುಮಾರು ಸತಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಪುನಃ ಈ ಹಾಲ್ಗೆ ಬಂದು ಅದೇ ಒಂದು ವಾತಾವರಣ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾನೀಗ ವೈಸ್ ಚಾನ್ಸಲರ್ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ KSOU has multiplied not by one time, 2 times, 3 times, hundreds of times. So it's loaded with 60,000 students and 31 departments and a large number of faculty. So this is not easy for any country to do this. It's not easy. So I think this is a war against illiterates. Illiteracy will go if these kinds of activities are around the country. First of all, let me congratulate KSOU. Thank you very much for your effort, from the students to the faculty to the dean to the head of the department to the vice chancellor and of course to the chancellor also. Dear Professor Vidyashankar, vice chancellor of KSOU, Dr. Ashok Kamble, dean of the academics, Dr. Chandrasekhar, Dr. Niranjan Raj, Professor Praveen. I was also contacted by phone by Mr. Krishnamurthy, Dr. Krishnamurthy and Dr. Hemalata, along with Chandrasekhar, and I also recognize their presence here if they are around. And all the faculties and staff, most important, staff of KSOU and the students of School of Sciences especially, but also equally important is other departments. Sometimes we separate science and other departments, and your theme today is integrated science, and therefore how do we integrate, for example, Department of Kannada with science? So that's very important, and I welcome all the other departments of KSOU leaving your very busy job to stay here for an hour or so in this function. My very good friends from press and multimedia personnel from Mysore and other places, special invitees, ladies and gentlemen. ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಬರಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು KSOU ಹಾಗೂ KSOUನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಣ್ಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಕೃತಜ್ಞತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿ, ಈ ಕಾವೇರಿ ಸಭಾಂಗಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕಾವೇರಿ ಮಾತೆಗೆ ನಮಿಸುತ್ತಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ನಡ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ನಿಜವಾದ ಒಂದು ಹೊಳಪಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ನದಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಾವೇರಿ ಒಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಹಲವಾರು ನದಿಗಳು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾವೇರಿ ಭಾಳ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾದ್ದು ಮೈಸೂರಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾವೇರಿ ಆಡಿಟೋರಿಯಂನಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಕಾವೇರಿ ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದು ಆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ನನಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ನೆನೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಭಾಳ ತುಂಬ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. Before I start my talk, let me congratulate Syed and all his colleagues who are able to bring about this open life sciences. ಅವರು ಭಾಳ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ ಹಂಬಲ್ನೆಸ್ he said ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಲೆಟರ್, ಇದೇ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಲೆಟರ್ ಆದರೆ ಇನ್ನು ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಎಷ್ಟು ದಪ್ಪ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ he has done a great job. You have been very humble, but I think very important to recognize the youngsters who are the tomorrow's world of science. ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ದೀಪ ಹಚ್ಚಿದ್ವಿ. ದೀಪ ಹಚ್ಚೋ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಯಿತು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ, ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಬತ್ತಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಅದು ಕಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಹತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ. ಆದರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಸೇರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಭಾಳ ಕ್ವಿಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಹತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಕರ್ಪೂರದ ಪುಡಿಯನ್ನು ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಉದುರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡಲ್ಲೇ ಹತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮಿಷ ಏನು. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನದ ಒಂದು ಉಪಯೋಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಳೆಯ ಕಾಲದಿಂದಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್, ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ವಿಸ್ಡಮ್, ಸಾಂಪ್ರದಾಯಿಕ ಒಂದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರೋದರಿಂದ ಇದು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ತಿಳಿದಂಗೆ 5 ಲೈಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, 5 ಬತ್ತಿ ಉರಿತಾ ಇದೆ, 5. ಸೊ ಈ 5 ನಮ್ಮ ಜ್ಞಾನದ ಒಂದು ಸಂಕೇತ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಈ 5 ದೀಪ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಬೆಸ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ದೀಪಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಕಡೆ ನಾನು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸಮಸಂಖ್ಯೆನೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು, ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ದೀಪ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ನಮಗೆ. ಈ 5 ಪಂಚೇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳ ಥರ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅವರ್ 5 ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್. It reminds us of the power. So therefore, on a science day like this, when we put flowers on Dr. C.V. Raman's, late Dr. C.V. Raman's photo, it reminded me in 1966 and 67, and also in 1965 to 66, I happened to work as a student in his house, in his library. In Bangalore, Malleshwaram, those of you who know Malleshwaram, it is on 15th Cross, 8th Main Road corner, ಪಂಚವಟಿ ಅಂತ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಈ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗಾಗಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಯಾರು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಅವರು ಒಂದು ವೆರಿ ಜನರಾಸಿಟಿ. ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ. ನಾನು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರನ್ನ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ ಎ ಸ್ಯಾಟರ್ಡೇ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ನೂನ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಮೀಟ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ an hour or so. The interaction with him is permanently impressed in my mind. At that time I didn't know I will be standing today and giving this talk. At that time we didn't also know his fame. He was one with a peta on the head, and it is very characteristic of him. Later on I met him in Centenary Hall in Uraja's College when he came in the late 60s, like 67 or 68, to deliver that Centenary Hall lecture at that time. So I was a student in Yuvaraja's, and after the lecture I just met him. He said, "You're the same person who was working in my library. Why did you leave that job?" he said. So this kind of memory for a scientist is, when he meets millions of people as a Nobel laureate, is phenomenal. That day probably something happened for me. I said, hey, science is not bad, right? Science is good if you can pursue. So therefore there was no looking back, and I'm not a bright student to get a seat in medical or engineering. So my father said, join Uraja's College at 18 rupees per month fees. Yeah, very, very costly at that time, but my father was kind enough to support my education. We always think parents it's our right to ask parents, not necessary. Parents support children with love and affection. We should be grateful for that. Today you may send your children abroad spending millions of rupees, but those days 18 rupees was not easy. So it is important to remember those with the background of science, and also the whole country is celebrating today as Science Day, but because of the huge impact it has made over the number of years, it is celebrated as a Science Week. But ನನಗನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ದಿವಸ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಗಂಟೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಗಳಿಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಸೈನ್ಸೇ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲವು ಮಾತಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಬಯಸ್ತೀನಿ. Raman's contribution was not recognized at that time because we were under the imperialistic rule. ಅಂಡರ್ ಇಂಪೀರಿಯಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ರೂಲ್ ನೀವು ಏನೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನು ಅಮುಕೋದು ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಒಂದು ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಈವನ್ ದೋ ಹಿ ಗಾಟ್ ನೊಬೆಲ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್, the whole thing was compressed or suppressed. It took a long time for India to recognize that we need to really go forward in science. Also, the failure of science. Yeah. So we should always remember, failure of science has to be backed up by a generator, right? Not that Indian science is inferior to anybody. We have all shown, some of us, including your Vice Chancellor and all the dignitaries on the dais here, and some of you, and most of you in the faculty. It's amazing. India has done science at the least cost in the world. We just saw now, for 20 seconds we were so impatient. Some of you may be more patient, but some, chief guest, we generally get, what is this? You didn't back up. Doesn't matter. That is our country. We are okay. Don't worry so much. Sunlight is so important. We know that only when we are in dark, right? So the four elements which represents dot five lights. What is the fifth one? Fifth one is an important one. That will come to the end of the talk. Keep guessing what is the fifth one. The four are air, water, and food and sunlight, right? In whatever order you want to put it. ಒಂದು ಗಂಟೆ ಕಾಲ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತೊದಲಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಸಿಲ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ವೇ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಕಷ್ಟಪಡಬೇಕು, ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ, ಆಫೀಸ್ ಕೆಲಸ, ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಈಸಿ ವೆದರ್ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಆರ್ ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೀಚರ್ is not only restricted to class. A teacher is a parent, a teacher is a wife, a teacher is a husband, a teacher is children, a teacher is grandmother, grandfather, neighbors, friends, and even enemies are teachers sometimes. They teach us very good lessons, yeah? So I don't think we could have held this, right? So who did the vaccine? Yano Marda? No. Look at science. So science, ಇದೊಂದು ಮಹಾವೈರಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರ ಲೈಫೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟು, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಈ ಒಂದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ವಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್. ಟುಡೇ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ 2 doses that are required but also the third dose as a bonus. Especially aged people like me, you can take the third dose if you feel like, called precautionary dose. Eco science, plant planet, and also microzone. That was all happening today. And once again, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share some of my thought. Keep thinking. Thank you.
I request Dr. Krishnamurthy Chamaram to greet the registrar with a flower bouquet.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Honorable Registrar, today's chief guest Dr. V. Prakash and other dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. I take this opportunity to express a few words about the clubs which we have started and inaugurated today, will be inaugurated today by the dignitaries on this wonderful occasion, National Science Day. The Department of Studies in Microbiology is organizing a science club by the name Microzone with the tagline, The Invisible World of Microbes. The very name itself explains its importance about the microbial world of the world. Microbes have their own distinct place in nature. So with this club, various activities will be conducted in relation to society, man, microbes and the environment. The Department of Botany, under the umbrella of the Department of Studies in Microbiology, wishes to have its own club, Plant Planet, with the tagline Plant Lovers Club. Our main emphasis will be to create much more awareness about the importance of a greener earth, plant diversity, and strengthening the plant-human relationship. With these few words, I conclude my words. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to request all the dignitaries to inaugurate the Eco Club from the Department of Environmental Science, Microzone.
ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ದಿನಾಚರಣೆಯ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು. The dignitaries on the dais, the today's chief guest has inaugurated this National Science Day 2022 and gave his inaugural address. Dr. V. Prakash ji, the former director of CSIR Central Food Technological Research Institute, and the other dignitaries, registrar evaluation, SICA director, dean, and other my esteemed officers, and my dear colleagues, teaching and non-teaching staff and press and media persons, and other invitees. Today, we are celebrating the National Science Day with the theme that science and technology should go together. There is integration. And the chief guest in his inaugural address has clearly spelled out every day science will be with us. Our body itself is a science. And India being the largest country not only in the diabetics but the largest country with a largest population in many things. Yes, I also agree with that, saying that not only in India, even in other countries, our presence are there in large numbers, whether it is with respect to the scientists, or to the students. As we are seeing today that there are 20,000 students are there in Ukraine studying medical and engineering and other allied subjects. There also our presence is there. 20,000 is not a small number. So hence, the Indians, not only in the field of education, in the field of science also, 40% of the scientists in NASA are Indians. If all the 40% of the population, Indian population comes to India, the NASA will be closed. That is what the statement made by one of the recently when I was sitting here for some other function of science and technology. So, on this Science Day, the KSOU is celebrating this Science Day and have released the newsletter authored by the Niranjan Raj and other professors, which aside it normally a newsletter is only 2 or 3 pages. I am seeing a newsletter of 70 to 80 pages newsletter with some paper publication on it. Yes, that is needed to encourage the young scientists or young generation to come out with more and more invention as well as innovation. And they have also inaugurated many science clubs, Eco Club, Microzone Club, Plant Planet Club. I am happy to inaugurate or to be a part of this inauguration of these clubs. I hope definitely as a university, these are some of the activities which are most essential, not only to motivate the students as well as to motivate ourselves to do many activities under the banner of clubs to come out with the invention or to come out with some of the activities like I think they have taken interest in establishing these clubs. ನಿರಂಜನ್ ಅವರ ಮೊದಲಿತ್ತಾ ಇದು ಕ್ಲಬ್ಸು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದೇ ಹವ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ನ್ಯೂಲಿ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಅಡಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋರ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ಸ್ to the different science departments. I think around 20 to 30 staffs have joined for the science department. As a university, not as a vice chancellor, as a university, I expect a lot of activities from each department. See, one thing is quite sure that no university can survive, especially science department, without R&D, research and development. It's a part and parcel of the teachers. When we join as a teachers, we should inculcate that it is our part of our breathing system. Research will be the part of our breathing system. We have to breathe with it. No university or any department can survive without any research. So definitely this club, I hope, will play a big role in enhancing the research and development activities in the university system. All these days there used to be only a Vijnana Bhavan. There is a building. No labs being established there. No teachers. More number of teachers were not there as per the required UGC norms. Now I have given everything, teachers, all the laboratory equipments, may not be all, I'll say at least 50 to 60% of equipment are given. Still many more things will come. The UGC grants we are expecting in this month, lot of grants. Definitely if the teacher comes out with a proposal of what they require for their R&D developments, things will on this science day I am announcing that definitely there will be lot of activities which you are going to see in the R&D development in Karnataka State Open University. For the last 25 years, we could not able to get some research funding due to the reason that there was no 12B from the UGC. Now we have been sanctioned with the 12B, definitely, which is going to helpful most of the teachers who have joined recently and those who are teachers who are working from many years. They have an advantage to apply for funds. This I am repeating many number of times to only to motivate the teachers, young teachers. Don't waste your time. Do spend your time in research so that science and technology can be integrated together. Definitely, these are the two words as mentioned by our chief guest, that science is always an invention. That once again I wish you a National Science Day for each and every scientist who are present here in this hall. Thank you once again, all the members who are present here, teaching and non-teaching staff and other dignitaries.
Very good evening to one and all. It is my privilege to thank all of you. Dr. V. Prakash, former director, CSIR, CFTRI. So this day he made memorable to KSOU. He joined us to celebrate National Science Day. On this occasion, he has also given the message to all of us how to work as a scientist, just without any prior this one. We have to just work that will give awards. So on this day, he has come and he has motivated all of us on behalf of all of you, all science teachers, and also on behalf of KSOU. I thank Dr. V. Prakash for being here. I request Dr. Krishnamurthy to give gift to. Yeah, it is just eco-friendly. And plants are given by the Department of Botany, and also the jute bags from the Department of Environmental Science. And also today, so Dr. Vidyashankar S., our Honorable Vice Chancellor, he had also motivated us for celebrating this National Science Day. I request Dr. Bakar to give a memento to him. And also I thank Professor R. Rajanna, our registrar. So he has made this day memorable because he has directed us how to celebrate. And also today, so I request Dr. Meena Kumari to hand over the memento. And also I thank Professor Ashok Kamble, our Dean Academic. So his presence made us everyone happy, and also he had made the program to celebrate very neatly, and also he checked out how to spend financially also. So he had made so many things change. And also I thank Professor Ashok Kamble on behalf of all teachers of science faculty. I thank you once again, sir. I thank Dr. K.B. Praveena, our newly come registrar evaluation. I thank on behalf of all teaching faculty of KSOU. I thank Dr. Niranjan Raj S., Chairman, Department of Microbiology, and also the Director Sika for being with us. And also I thank Dr. A. Khadar Pasha, our Finance Officer. So he has always been supportive for this kind of events. I thank you very much, sir. And I thank Dr. Shanmukha, Dean Study Center. So his presence made us happy. Thank you, sir, for being here. And I thank all the statutory officers and all teaching faculties of science as well as arts and humanities, and also non-teaching staff of KSOU, and all students, and also the dignitaries came from other institutions and also from the other universities. And I thank all media who are present for wide coverage, and also I thank all those who has supported for making this event success. I thank you one and all, and each and everyone. I thank you once again.